Hey everybody, welcome back to the NC State Insider Podcast. I am your host and lead beat writer Tucker Sennett, joining you here today to discuss the Wolfpack's upcoming road trip to face number 16 Notre Dame on the gridiron. Should be a fantastic college football weekend, some great matchups across the board, including this one, which you can watch on Peacock on Saturday. As we dive in, as we always do, we'll do some analysis on game day for the game day preview. But I figured it would be nice to talk about what has to go right for NC State to have a chance in this game because Notre Dame is obviously a national contender. Even with those two losses, they are battling to get back into the college football playoff hunt. And every game is massive for the Fighting Irish moving forward, and NC State's sort of trying to get back into relevance in their own right. They had that two-game losing skid, bounce back with that win over Campbell, and the offense has seemed to find its footing again after kind of a so-so performance against Virginia Tech. That Campbell game did a lot for the group's confidence, and sophomore quarterback CJ Bailey seems to be really, really ready for this game. He wants to play consistent football, carry over those strong first halves into those second halves to give his team the best chance to win. So, what has to go right? For one, NC State's going to need to play probably its best defensive game so far. Maybe not as a whole, but situationally, if they want to have a chance to win this game. NC State has been a better team, and this goes for every. I mean, Dave Dorn talked about like this like it's some unique thing, but when you win the turnover margin, you have a better chance to win the football game. It's that simple. And NC State has been a team that has been successful under Doran. When they win the turnover margin, they win the game. That's how it works for most teams. You don't see teams that force a lot of turnovers lose. It's just it, it doesn't happen. NC State has had trouble with interceptions. They have that Kean Sloan game winner. They have that Ronnie Royal pick against Wake Forest. No forced fumbles on the season or fumbles recovered. That's an area that's going to need to improve. But it's really simple. If they don't find a way to force a turnover in this game and Bailey and the offense turns the ball over, they really have no chance because you're going to a hostile road environment. Not one of the best in college football, but certainly a difficult place to play in terms of reputation and the stadium has a feel to it. But they've played in tough places before. They've seen what the top environments of college football look like, and Notre Dame's a tough place to play, but it's no Clemson. So they're going to have to find a way to force a turnover. I don't know what the defensive game plan that will work is, but it's likely that DJ Elliott, Charlton Warren, and Doran have come up with a plan to sell out against the run because Notre Dame with a true freshman quarterback in CJ Carr, who is really good in his own right. He's been tremendous in this 4-2, 3-2, 4-2 start for the Irish. Um, they have a two-headed monster at running back, and maybe if you sell out, it doesn't even work. Like you might not be able to stop these two guys, but that's really NC State's best chance at a win defensively. And you have to be able to frustrate Carr enough to generate a turnover here and there and have a shot to win this game. So that's one thing. Bailey's going to have to play a clean, complete game, as I alluded to earlier. He had his best game of the season against Campbell, did most of his damage in the first half as that game was over before you could blink. NC State scored 8 touchdowns, but he had some trouble with his deep balls, and this is a game where the Wolfpack is going to have to catch Notre Dame off guard, pushing the ball downfield. I think there's a tendency for teams like this, like NC State, to try and control time of possession, which is important, but you also have to prove that you're a threat to this Notre Dame defense, which has been vulnerable this season. Texas A&M and them had that absolute shootout. Carson Beck had a phenomenal game against Notre Dame, throwing the ball downfield. And that Beck performance, there were some catches by his receivers that they just went out and kind of beat these Notre Dame defensive backs. This is a younger defense that's been rebuilt from that national championship run. So if they can, attack through the air and prove that their offense belongs in the game, it might fluster Chris Ash and this Notre Dame defense. That's another thing. Dave Dorn knows Chris Ash really well. They came up together. I wrote about this earlier in the week. Can he find some sort of edge in terms of that preparation? Ash might have the same argument. He might know everything that Dorn's going to try to throw at him. So it'll be interesting to watch that chess match. But can NC State find just a little bit of insider knowledge to get over the hump in this one? That could go a long way. And finally, the other thing that I think needs to go well is the special teams. The buzzword around football this year is clean operation, and NC State's special teams has not been a clean operation through the first 6 weeks of the season. If they can figure things out in that phase, that could go a very long way in terms of, you got Terrell Anderson returning punts now. Can he make a big play and set up a drive and in much better field position? Can Caden Noonkester have a good game kicking the ball and pin this Notre Dame offense back deep in their own territory? Can you kick field goals successfully? These are all things that have to happen for teams to get over the hump in these upsets. And this is a spot that Notre Dame might be. It's a weird situation for them in their schedule. They came off that kind of ugly performance against Boise State where they just grinded it out and got the win. They got USC coming up. That's an important game for their resume. Is this a look ahead game? Can you catch them off guard here? That's going to be a major factor for NC State. So those are my main things that have to go right. And then my final point is Hollywood Smothers is going to have his moment here in this game. This is going to be a game where he can prove himself against two of the best running backs in college football, and Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. Can he prove that he belongs on this stage? This is the moment. This is when it has to happen. And he struggled to get going in that Virginia Tech game. Not really his fault, just more the way the game flowed, and the offensive line was really a disaster in that one. Can he break some big runs in this game? And if he can, it could be a shocking upset for the Wolfpack. But I'll be blunt. I'm not super confident in this defense's ability to slow down this pretty high-powered Notre Dame offense. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the game day predictions when we get there. As always, thanks for tuning in. You can find more content on my Twitter at Senate Tucker, on the website's Twitter at Wolfpack on SI. You can also find daily episodes of this on the Sports Videos on SI YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.